The news tonight brought to you by Fimmels First National. For all real estate, see Fimmels first.
This is Woo News with Jeff Sly.
Tonight, plans for a gas exploration venture southwest of Mount Gambier. A war of words over petrol prices as leaded fuel passes the dollar mark. And in sport, the Pioneers one game away from the National Grand Final. Good evening. Well, first tonight to a 5-year gas and oil exploration that's set to start near Mount Gambier. A young company, Essential Petroleum Resources Limited, announced its plans today for a gas well southwest of the city. It'll be one of 12 dug in the search for petroleum deposits, which the company claims are underlying much of the Otway Basin. And Origin Energy will head the investigation, starting the drilling for gas next year.
Origin Energy will kick off a mammoth exploration exercise with a well to be dug southwest of Mount Gambier. It will be the first of 12 and perhaps 13 to go in the Otway Basin as part of a 5-year program in search of oil and gas. Essential Petroleum Resources Limited announcing the initiative today.
In this particular first well, it's more a gas-prone zone, we believe, rather than oil in that particular one. However, in other areas of the Otway Basin, there are certainly areas that we believe provide a better impact with the oil picture.
John Cornelius says the Otway Basin, which in mining terms is relatively untouched, is brimming with resources. The company detecting 4 different petroleum systems from north of Port Campbell to beyond Mount Gambier. Adding to speculation, there's the potential to uncover more than 200 million barrels of oil and 500 billion cubic feet of gas. And while the company is only 12 months old, it's been investigating the area for 15 years.
Yes, it is a young company, but the experience, as I say, with particularly a geologist that's worked in hydrology and geology in the area and a geophysicist and drilling engineer that's done the same, lots of knowledge in terms of the Otway Basin.
The company has funding to back the drilling of McNamara Deep No. 1 near Mount Gambier, but it confirms it's in need of extra money to continue. The program will get underway next year.
The member for Barker, Patrick Secker, has hit out at the RAA's criticism of petrol prices. He says the motoring organisation needs to stop lashing out at government and should start targeting oil companies instead.
As petrol prices continue to climb, anger from motorists continues to grow. Leaded fuel has topped the dollar mark for a litre, and unleaded isn't far behind. The RAA has been extremely vocal in recent weeks, calling for a halt to the upward spiral. But now comes calls from the federal government to lay off. Member for Barker, Patrick Secker, saying perhaps it's the oil companies that need to be targeted.
Well, most of the fuel increase is due to the fact that the world oil price is higher, and frankly, we as a government can't do anything about the world fuel price. Of course, our dollar is not as high as perhaps we'd like it to be, and as a result, it costs us more to import that oil from overseas.
What's more, he claims most costs that can be traced back to the government can result in benefits for the public, and that the RAA is not telling the full story.
Obviously, businesses will be getting their GST back on their fuel, which of course makes fuel 10% cheaper for business, which is very important as they're major employers in this country, and of course that includes the farmers. They're also not telling you that there's 23 cents a litre being taken off every litre that trucks use, which is very important again for the rural industry.
But the RAA has no plans of backing down.
The RAA, along with the other motoring clubs, has approached the same company that prepared the GST model for the federal government, and the message they've given is that no, there are no short-term, and in the longer term, only nominal savings to be had. So I think the onus is on the federal government to come through with its promise.
Until then, it claims the average driver's hip pocket will continue to get hit.
I think the average price this morning for unleaded in Mount Gambier is 98.9, and of that 47.11 cents is tax.
Well, Mount Gambier High School has picked up $350,000 in funding as part of the latest state maintenance budget. The money will be used to replace a heating plant that's been in use for more than 30 years. An announcement from the State Education Department this afternoon. Mount Gambier High School is to pick up $350,000 as part of a $1.74 million maintenance allocation. The school clearly delighted to get the funding.
We certainly are, Jeff. We've been after this for quite some time, and it's certainly the first instalment of what we hope will be enough to really make a significant difference to the school.
It'll be used to replace a heating system in the school. A consultancy firm has already costed the job at more than $800,000, but at least this will make a start. The heating that's in place at the moment is clearly not up to an acceptable standard.
No, it certainly isn't. No, we've had a lot of time where the rooms haven't been at a suitable temperature, and it's old. It's been here since the school has been here, which is over 30 years now. So it's certainly high time that it was replaced and upgraded.
Fisheries and police officers from around Australia are stepping up the fight against abalone poaching. They're joining forces to combat illegal trade in the lead-up to the Sydney Olympics.
Poaching costs Australia's abalone industry millions of dollars a year in lost revenue. And the southeast isn't immune to the issue. Just last January, fisheries officers uncovered a haul with a retail value of $10,500 at Carpenter Rocks and Pelican Point. It's finds such as these that have led to a joint initiative between police and fisheries officers to combat illegal trade. The move comes amid predictions the situation will worsen in the lead up to the Sydney Olympics, where increased demand has pushed prices to record levels. The exercise is being called Operation Endeavour. It's already underway in Sydney, where officers have begun executing warrants on premises suspected of being involved in illicit trade. There's also plans to ensure compliance with a national docketing system which tracks shipments of abalone from the time of catch to the point of sale.
Well, the Navy is set for a shake-up. A lack of support for reserves out at sea and stiff military stereotypes have tended to put youth off registering with the force. But all that's about to change, with one of the highest-ranking female officers now in Mount Gambier for a massive restructuring venture.
The local Navy contingent won't know what's hit it now that Mover and Shaker Commander Sandy Colson is in Mount Gambier.
I'm also looking at a number of personnel strategies for the Navy in order to make the Navy a more attractive employer for our officers and sailors. In other words, in order to develop some better personnel practices in order to keep our people in the Navy.
Colson's on a mission to make the Naval Cadet program more attractive to youth and to restructure support for reserves out at sea. She says that's been holding the Royal Australian Navy back for years.
There is a problem. We're having difficulties in attracting people to join the Navy in the first place, and once people do join, they tend to have fairly short-term careers these days, and obviously we don't like to use highly trained and skilled people.
But Colson's naval career has been anything but short, and her rank shows it. She's now the third highest female officer.
Well, I joined the Navy nearly 26 years ago. When I joined the Navy, women were in a separate service, the Women's Royal Australian Naval Service, and we had very limited careers. About 10 years after I joined, we were all transferred to the Royal Australian Navy following the implementation of the Sex Discrimination Act, and now women in the Navy do exactly the same things as males.
Colson now works from the Mount Gambier Army Depot.
And still to come in Win News tonight, state attention for a southeast study. And our sporting stars take to the streets.
He's one of the big screen's toughest guys, and he's about to become one of the small screen's scariest. The new girlfriend's father.
So, Ross, what's your problem? Why can't you get a girlfriend your own age?
Bruce Willis joins friends tonight.
It's bulging bonus time at Gas World with Hitachi power tools at the right price. Here's the popular Hitachi 9-inch angle grinder with 5 bonus wheels. Cut to clear. Or the tough Hitachi 14-inch cut-off machine with 5 bonus wheels. Cut to clear. And demolish the competition with Hitachi's 1400-watt demolition hammer. Smashed. Grab a bulging bonus deal on Hitachi power tools at your nearest Gasworld Discount Tool Centre, the big name in tools.
Are you ready for the Olympics? Aslan Hi-Fi is, and we can help you. You won't miss a single event with this Panasonic super long play video recorder. Record up to 15 hours on a 5-hour tape. Try it for yourself at Aslan Hi-Fi, your sound and video specialist in the main.
We're the fresh food people, and food is our life. Every day we work with Australian farmers, bringing their best straight to you, to serve you the greatest array of fresh food at the lowest price. Because we're Woolworths, the fresh food people, and we're bringing food to life. All day, every day.
We're the fresh food people. We're bringing food to life.
The Solomon Sultan has turned flooring prices upside down. Whole home packages under $2,500, 3 bedrooms under $1,200, and timber under $33. It's Solomon's upside down sale.
Oh, just magic.
Call now.
Do you have a set of golf clubs for sale? Win Classifieds, when you want a classified that really works.
A South East woman has today addressed a state conference on the issue of falls in the elderly. Deb Kirby is considered something of an expert. She's conducted a study over 4 months in this region, and her findings are showing there is a genuine problem. 386 people over the age of 65 have suffered a fall since April. Deb Kirby has been keen to find out how much of an issue falls in the elderly is in our region. It's been a study conducted with virtually no money, but a huge amount of cooperation between services.
We wanted to know how many people were falling in the southeast, and what we're hoping to do by the time this project ends, we're hoping to be able to say, well, we've managed to put some things into place to stop a lot of those falls happening.
The findings have shown some interesting things. The biggest at-risk group are those between 80 and 90. A great number of people falling while in hostel accommodation.
There's been 386 falls recorded up until yesterday. Now that's a lot in the southeast, and of that we've had 33 fractures, and I mean, a fracture in someone over 65 can be extremely debilitating, and in a lot of cases it can also mean a loss of independence while those people are recovering from that fall.
Now, with more than $25,000 put forward by community groups, the effort is on to conduct 500 free home assessments across the region. The aim is to lessen the potential for problems.
This is people over the age of 65. We're encouraging them to look at wearing hip protectors if they have a likelihood of falling. We are encouraging them to have their osteoporosis checks done, to eat sensibly, to indulge in some form of exercise. They don't have to get carried away, but just move.
And now in other news, a coup for the South East Show Band at the weekend, coming home from the Adelaide Bands and Orchestra Festival, boasting one of the highest scores given out by the adjudicator. The local band was awarded 92% after performing at the 3-day competition. 2,000 musicians vying for accolades in 10 divisions, the local show band coming first in its section. A reflection at the weekend of the city's place as a powerhouse in terms of sporting achievement. 200 of our best marched down Commercial Street Saturday morning. All of them have been either state or national team members, many of them champions. A cavalcade of sporting champions Saturday morning, and leading the way, local Olympian John Tremelling and visiting Olympic figure skater Stephen Carr, behind a host of stars in their own right. World Karate multiple medalist Alba Howard given the honour of leading the ground troops. Even our most recent Australian team members were there. The concept of the cavalcade was to give the public some sort of idea of the depth and breadth of state and national representation this community has achieved.
We don't always recognise our achievers, and that's the whole idea of today.
from Stephen Carr an insight into what it takes to make it to Olympic level. He and sister Danielle are considered Australia's most successful pairs skating combination after competing for 23 years. Now we'll continue the sporting theme. It's been a big weekend. Here's Gretel.
Thanks, Jeff. Tonight, West Gambia shows some fight in an otherwise disappointing season. And the Pioneers survive in the national finals after a big win in Townsville.
Attention renovators. Fibbles First National has for auction Thursday, August 17 at 1 on the property, 3 Francis Street, stone construction comprising 5 main rooms and a good-sized garden area. Phone 87255 440 now. See Fibbles First.
I started about 30 years ago. Started as an abalone diver actually, and had about 25 years crayfishing, and now we're tuna fishing. Yeah, I thought it was good value. Yeah, I think it's pretty reasonable. The divide, I took a $44 plan, I think it was. 2 movie channels, divide that by 31 days in a month. It's pretty reasonable to me. My favourite movie, probably Casablanca.
Whatever switches you on, it's on Austar.
Better Electrical were overstocked and underpriced. $25 million worth of stock must clear. You could win one of 5 $2,000 grocery vouchers. Ask about extended warranty, interest-free terms available. See our new catalogue. Overstocked, underpriced. Better!
When it comes to your well-being, chemist Warwick Greaves in Narracourt can help. The staff at Warwick Greaves Chemmart can provide you with practical pharmaceutical advice and offer suitable products to keep you in good health. When it comes to beauty care, choose from a comprehensive range of Max Factor cosmetics, assorted fragrances and the finest in skincare treatments from Givenna of Switzerland. So come and discuss your health needs with your health team at Warwick Greaves Chemmart in Narracourt.
If it is the magic of crystals, if it is the magic of aromatherapy, if it is the magic of books, if it is the magic of music, if it is the magic of ancient cultures, then remember, magic happens at the Crystal Vision Relaxation Centre, Grey Street, Mount Gambier.
Buonissima bolognese, marinara magnifica, spirelli calabrese, for fresh, authentic Italian homemade pasta. You can't go pasta. The pasta's fresher at Pasta.
The news tonight brought to you by Fimmels First National. For all real estate, see Fimmels First.
The Pioneers players are just one game away from the national final in the Australian Basketball Association after a stunning win in Townsville Saturday night. They kept the Townsville Heat to 68 points for the match, taking the game by 28. Luke Carnegie was outstanding with 22 points, one of 4 players to top the 20 mark.
Townsville went into the national quarter-final unbeaten at home for the season. NBL big man David Panisi had 18, but even the Blue Boots couldn't help him lift his side out of a dismal first half. Ken Richards gave the Heat a taste of his talents, 20 points and 10 rebounds along the way. Jason Sedlock picking up 20 and 15 rebounds and a great performance as well. The Pioneers had travelled with a thin bench, just 8 players making the trip, but it was enough. A 35-point first quarter set the tone, the lead 22 by the half. The only bright point for the home crowd, a Ken Richards dunk that didn't quite go to plan. In the end, the margin was 28.
Mount Gambier played a good game of basketball. They played, and won the game and did what they had to do to win it. And they obviously had researched us pretty well and did some things to us that put us off. But it's disappointing. We would have loved to go to the next step, and I think we had a good enough side to go there. But you've got to put it on the floor, and you can talk it all. And we talked it all week, probably how good we've been playing. But we just put together a poor game of basketball.
Townsville shot at just 31% for the game, less than 10% from the three-point line. John Burns knows that helped.
It is tough at this time of year, but, our guys did play really hard, and at the end of the day, they scrapped and won the game.
Now, the title race is down to just 4 teams. The two semis and the grand final will be played this weekend in Bendigo. The Pioneers will meet Hobart at 6:15 Friday night. After that, it's Kilsyth against Brisbane's Southern Districts. The two winners play on Sunday.
The record against Hobart suggests that semi-final will be a magnificent game. In their only meeting this season, the Pioneers beat the Chargers by 3 at the Ice House. The teams know each other. Hobart knows what it takes to win a national final. John Burns knows his team is heading for a tough semi.
The tough thing for us will be backing up playing 2 games in 3 days. Our small rotation is okay getting through one game, like tonight's fine. I know our guys are really tired now and fairly sore. The challenge for us next week will be winning that first game and then how we back up for the grand final.
With that in mind, training will be light this week, and a bus is being arranged for local supporters. Bookings at the Ice House before 11 a.m. tomorrow.
To Western Border football now, and West Gambia's finals hopes may have been dashed, but the Roos have refused to exit quietly. They caused an upset Saturday when they went up against Casterton, defeating the second-placed Cats by a narrow 2 points. West Gambia may have bowed out of the finals race, but the players certainly haven't lost their spirit, posting their best results for the season at the weekend. From the first bounce, it was clear they were determined for victory. The Roos scoring 5 majors by the first break, Casterton slotting through 2. That lead was maintained for a remainder of the game, the home side clearly displaying some of its best teamwork for the season. Casterton's best work came in the final quarter, the players battling desperately to bridge the gap. And while they came close, it wasn't quite close enough. The margin just 2 points. While Casterton remains in second position, the team is now 4 games behind league leader South. That result confirmed after the Demons posted a strong win against Hamilton. The league's leading goal kicker Peter Harton was again on fire. He bagged 12 for the day, taking his overall season tally to 61. That result alone would have been enough to win it, but a further 13 players also contributed majors, Nick Forster scoring 4. The Demons kicked a whopping 35 in all, and with Hamilton managing a normally respectable 9, the final margin was a huge one, 221 to 64. In other games, North Gambia scored a comfortable victory over Haywood, Portland couldn't match Imperial's strength, and East had a pleasing win over Millicent. Hamilton has all but lost the chance to make the finals in Western Border netball. Its fate sealed by a 17-goal loss to South Gambia, leaving it 2 games outside the 5 with only 3 left to play.
The game started hard and fast. The South girls knew Hamilton's finals hopes were on the line. For those first few moments, it was goal for goal, making it a toss-up as to which team would assert its dominance. It was the Demons to do it, Gal Lamon contributing greatly, her presence in the ring putting the heat on Hamilton. And that set a standard for the rest of the game, South managing to keep Hamilton at bay until the end. The Magpies all but kicking their finals chances away, defeated by South 56 to 39. West Gambia and Casterton enjoyed a similar frantic affair, West taking control with a well-oiled attack line which fed nicely into the ring, Courtney Jones converting them well. By half-time, it was clear who was the boss, West on 31, Casterton on 22. And the Cats' hopes were further dashed with mounting pressure in the ring, Sharon Stocker and Josie Telford going at it hard.